Got leftover custard? Bung it on a cake, but do it before you bake it. Hi everyone, it's Tasha and welcome to another recipe video. And today we are going to be making leftover custard cake. Now, if for some unfortunate reason you have loads of leftover custard, even ready-made custard, you know, the kind you buy in a pot from a supermarket, this is a really quick and easy recipe that will transform it into a cake. I had almost a whole tub left over from when I did my custard puffs. That was a couple of videos ago when I got some ready-made puff pastry and put some ready-made custard and berries in and baked it. Don't worry, by the way, this recipe video is being filmed a couple of days after. It hasn't been sitting in my fridge for 2 weeks. And usually for me, leftover custard isn't a problem because I love custard. I'll just put it on some bananas, some apples, some berries, or just eat it straight from the bowl. It's also great for making a poor man's creme brulee. Just put some ready-made custard in a heat-proof bowl, sprinkle some sugar over it, and then either pop it under the grill to caramelise the top or use a little cook's blowtorch. This time though, I was feeling a little bit mad scientist, and I thought, what would happen if you made a normal cake, but before you bake the cake you just dump a load of custard on top and then bake it? And I then thought, this is either genius or it's madness. So, knowing full well I could have ended up with a completely inedible disaster of goop, I went ahead and did it. And you know what? The results were incredible. The cake itself is the most simple sponge recipe of all. It's just an eggs, flour, sugar and butter sponge, also with a little bit of vanilla and a little bit of salt, but we barely count those. And then you've got your ready-made custard and that's it. There are no long freezing or chilling times for this. It's just a really simple cake recipe. I'm so excited to share this with you, so let's go to the kitchen and see how it's done. First, let's preheat the oven to 180 degrees C. I have also lined a 9-inch springform tin with 1 sheet of baking paper. Here we have 115 grams of unsalted butter which we softened at room temperature. We're going to add in 115 grams of caster sugar, a good pinch of salt, and we're also going to add a teaspoonful of vanilla. This is vanilla bean paste, you can just use the extract. I just have some vanilla bean paste that's about to expire that I want to use up. And we're going to beat this together until it's creamy and fluffy. By the way, apologies for the ratty bandage around my hand. I'm trying to get it to stick for as long as possible so that my burn heals up, but it's been a few days, it's already peeling off, so it does look a bit ratty. Now we're going to add in 2 eggs. Let's beat these in too. Make sure you also scrape the sides down to get every last bit in. Make sure it's evenly mixed. And now we're going to add in 115 grams of self-raising flour. And we're going to whisk that in too. And that is our sponge base. Now we're going to scoop this straight into our waiting cake tin. Scrape down the sides of it first. And we're going to smooth it down. I'm going to give this cake a few raps on the counter to get rid of any big air bubbles in there. So that was annoying. It looks like my phone also didn't film that part. All I did was, after I'd spread the cake around in the tin and I'd bashed it to get rid of the air bubbles, I then poured 3/4 of a tub of this ready-made custard straight on top. That's all I did, and I've been smoothing it out, and I do not understand why since the latest update. My phone camera has been very dodgy. It will stop halfway through, so I really need to keep an eye on it. Anyway, that's a layer of 3/4 of a pot of ready-made custard on top of the uncooked sponge batter. And now we are going to cook this for 45 to 50 minutes in the oven. It's been 45 minutes, so let's let this cake cool down completely. Let's plate up this bad boy. We could in theory just lift it out, but because this is quite a soft cake, I am going to unclip it first. Also, it's a little bit warm. I am cheating, but this cake's okay taken out of the tin while it's still a bit warm, especially because we have the safety of our lining. I'll take this off now. And I'm going to transfer this straight to the plate. Easy. Look at how clean that was as well. Cannot wait to slice a slice out of this. Let's unravel it first. Unravel, peel, not quite sure the right word. And let's take a slice out. Oh, it's so soft. Just going to use my angled palette knife to get under there so I don't tear the paper. Wow, it's a winner. Absolutely gorgeous. The top kind of looks like a Portuguese custard tart, and we've got a lovely oozy centre. I like how some of the custard sank kind of almost to the bottom, well, kind of to the middle. We have a layer of custard in the middle, but also some caramelised custard on top. Beautiful. Let's take a chunk out of it. This has to be one of the best experiments I've ever done. Look at that oozy custard. Granted, oozy isn't always the most positive word, but in this case it is. It's like a lava cake. I almost feel guilty about how easy that was. I think I've been self-restrained enough. I took a chunk out for the slow motion video and I didn't eat it, so let's rectify that. Gonna make sure I get everything on the fork. Oh, it's so bouncy. Cheers. So simple but so good. It's so buttery. The cake is really light and fluffy and super moist, but it's not soggy either. It's kept itself separate from the custard, which has formed almost like a marble swell throughout the cake itself. Like I said, a little bit of custard has settled on the top and become caramelised, but the majority of it has sunk kind of to the middle and all around the cake, so you have periodic swells of custard lava. I mean, look at that. That is just perfection. I'm almost mad at how long it's taken me to do this, because I have considered doing it actually for quite a few years now, and I just never got around to it because A, I very seldom have leftover custard, B, I actually seldom buy ready-made custard from the shops. I either make it from scratch or I make the bright yellow bird's custard, which is also lovely. It has its place in the world, okay? I was a great big chicken and I was scared it would be a disaster. Far from a disaster, this is amazing. This is definitely not the last time I'm going to make this. Oh, by the way, I'm just editing this and I forgot to mention, I use 3/4 of a pot of custard, which is what I happen to have left over. You might be tempted to use an entire pot. Do that at your own risk. I'm not sure if it's going to work the same way. If you add more custard, it might become too heavy and it might sink to the bottom, but it might not. I myself would be tempted to use an entire pot of custard, so that's an option too, but do bear in mind if you do choose that avenue, I can't 100% guarantee that it will have the same effect, because like I said, you're adding more custard, you're adding more weight to that top, so it might sink more. I will definitely try it though at some point, probably soon. So there you go, leftover custard cake. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's recipe video and I hope you'll join me next Wednesday for my next one. Get the full written recipe on my blog tashcakes.com, follow me on Instagram on tashcakes.tastes, and find me on TikTok too on tashcakes there too, but my handle is food in slow motion. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more. Give this video a like if you'd like to help other people find it. Comment down below if you'd like me to make anything in particular, and I will see you all next time. Be good, be nice, and have a good week. This cake is so nice, a little bit warm as well.